DreamHack Open is brought to you by Corsair, Monster Energy, Nice Cactus, and GGBet.
Two teams sent home already here at DreamHack Open Winter, and yet there are two more still to go. The playoffs poised to begin tomorrow, but BO3s aplenty. We are past the halfway mark, and I am still your host, Scrawny, with Potter and Maniac by my side. We prepare ourselves for what will be an interesting best of three. forZe versus Furia, the Brazilians versus the Russians. It's going to be an explosive matchup. According to Jerry, the IGL of forZe, his interview just earlier today said that he anticipated this one and that he thinks it's a good matchup for their team. And considering forZe's struggles as of late, I think a good matchup is what they need right about now.
Yeah, listen, is it info, is it intox? I don't really know. It's great that they think it's a great matchup. Sure. I like the attitude, I like the way they go in. But what's crazy is that we end up with Furia and forZe with only one team making it to playoff. That is how stacked this event is. You have two teams. I mean, if you think about Furia, back in the middle of the year, we were seeing them semifinals, finals of the biggest events. forZe almost making it to the major, final in Moscow. And now they're here, DreamHack Winter Open, trying to fight for the playoff. This is how stacked this event is.
Go on.
And I think it's great that both of these teams are very similar. They both have the aggression. They both have struggled on the first day. They both had to claw and grind their way back to make it even to this point. I do think, though, that Furia are in a little bit of a better position. I think Furia have been tested a lot more this weekend than forZe have, and that's probably going to bode well for this Furia side of things going into this series.
Well, let's check out those tests. Let's see what exactly went down in Group A before we get into this final group match. Of course, those openers, Marshall falling to Furia, forZe falling to Tricked, who then secured the 2-0 in an incredibly close fashion. That 16-14 overpass game versus the Brazilians could have honestly gone either way. Furia mounting a huge comeback only to trip and fall at the final line. So now forZe, having dismantled the local team, having just gotten rid of the wish-wash, they find themselves here versus Furia. So a good one? Are you guys anticipating an explosive matchup like Jerry said?
I think you should just do noises, and we can just stand here and listen to that, because that was the best tripping noise I've ever heard.
Thank you.
That was pretty good.
He can beatbox really well.
Yeah, I know
too.
he can, I know,
So
but that's a
good.
treat just for us. It's not for people.
Oh, listen, guys, don't give away my tricks just yet. It's not Final Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
We've got 3 reasons. 3 reasons what, Potter?
So these are the 3 reasons why this series might get a little bit weird, okay? So bear with me here. Reason number 1, we spoke about these teams' aggression. It's going to be Art and Henny's aggression. We saw it on day 1. We saw how many times Henny was willing to take duels, willing to take fights, and it really paid off for him in the end. With reason number 2, just on the opposite side, we've got aggressive players in FaceCrack and aggressive players in Flit. Both of these guys have been instrumental in the success so far for forZe this year, and they're going to have to show it again in this series. And with reason number 3 is we've seen glimpses of good Counter-Strike from both of these teams. It hasn't been quite consistent enough. And at the same time, we've seen glimpses of a little bit of a questionable plays coming out of both these teams. So hopefully things don't get too weird here, guys.
Yeah, I mean, questionable CS is the least we can say, honestly. And this is not a diss, but the amount of time that the individuals in the Furia side had to save them, or literally just give them a round, like just here, take it. My name is Henny. You're my in-game leader. I'm going to give you this round with this push. Accept my gift, you know? This is great, and we appreciate it as spectators, right? But if I put on my analyst hat and I'm thinking about what they're doing, there's weaknesses. The game plan in Furia on diverse maps is not equal. It's not always that good. I think they have weaknesses in the map pool right now, but they do have geniuses in terms of Counter-Strike.
Well, that's a great thing to bring up, the map pool, right? We're into the BO3s, we're into the series, so let's get ready for the map pool to coming in.
So I think Furia, they're going to have to insta-veto this Dust 2. I am curious, though, whether forZe are going to come out and go ahead and veto their overpass because they struggled on it so much yesterday versus Tricked.
Or Vertigo.
Or Vertigo, yeah.
That's the question.
That's definitely the question, but forZe play Vertigo. They have
right.
yeah.
I know, that is weird. They have it as a first ban in most of the time, but then when they play it, they win it. So do they keep it as a joker?
Little
like
pocket
a trump card they might use sometime?
that
Or do
Jerry.
they remove Vertigo?
Yeah, it's Jerry, you know, he's up
Think-
to his wild.
Think he prepared that?
He's got some wild things. Ban's not out just yet, so No, coming in now.
Yeah, I mean, Dust2 is for sure. If Dust2 is here, I don't understand anything. There you go. You have the Vertigo ban from forZe. They didn't want to take the risk. The Dust2 ban on the stand of Furia, absolutely logical. Now, when it comes to picks, I think it's quite hard to predict because these teams, they share quite a lot of maps. I think Nuke, they can play both maps, obviously. Mirage, Inferno could be maps that both teams would be happy to play. I don't really see a huge punish potential. Maybe Overpass could be a pick here and there to throw a curveball, but I do believe we're going to end up in a, Inferno, Mirage, something like that, like middle ground type scenario, which bodes well for Counter-Strike.
There's Inferno and Nuke, so you've hit 2 out of the 3. As you said, there's a good overlap in these map pools, and what's really cool as well is even on those maps that they have overlap with, neither team loses on, like their average rounds when they lose games on those maps is always still above 10 for each of them.
They put up a fight
Exactly,
anytime.
Constantly. So I don't think we're getting a quick 2-0 in this third matchup. I think that just like Crazy versus Heroic, we're going to get a nice, long, played-out BO3 with who knows what in terms of rounds.
That's what we want. All the maps, all the rounds, all the headshots, all the clutches.
Then the question, of course, is where do we find ourselves in the third? And I'm going to put my money on Mirage.
Would that be cool? Wouldn't that be cool? There you go.
Yep.
Inferno, Nuke, Mirage.
This is great.
Most shared maps.
3 best maps for these 3 teams.
We haven't seen Inferno or Mirage so far in this
Inferno
tournament
so
either.
much.
Yeah,
I did miss
kind
Inferno.
of weird. It is kind of
My favorite
weird.
map.
Ooh. We've got a treat for you guys, actually. Thank you, production. Yeah, we've got a little Jerry video and his thoughts on this matchup. So let's delve into that right now.
Yesterday we lost to the Tricked. It was kind of nervous game. We thought that we can handle that, but we were prepared, but we didn't handle it. So we went to the hotel, slept, and then came here and thought like, okay, it's time. And we make a clean Syria 2-0. And now we're going to practice again so we can prepare for Furia. They have the same playstyle as we have. So it's going to be like, I can say it's going to be 50-50, but I can say we're confident against them. We know how they're playing some maps. Now we can get some knowledge from practice room. We will know how to play other maps and we will be prepared.
forZe on stage and ready to go. The first of 2 teams that we're going to take a closer look at, as Jerry said, losing to Tricked in the opener, but now getting ready to face off versus Furia. Not only similar play styles, according to Jerry, but now we also know similar map pool too. So this, as he said, 50-50. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, I would agree. I'd probably give a slight edge to Furia, honestly.
Sure.
But I do believe that in terms of how the match is going to look like, forZe are not going to be out of their comfort zone. It's going to be brute force.
Talk to me how you feel about forZe in particular in this matchup then. Let's really hone in on forZe before we switch over sides.
Well, I think so far in the lineup, many different players have really stepped up to the plate for this event. This is a great time, right? It's not only one player. Usually we can talk about Z-Power dependency, right? He would be the one. But no, here actually Fleet had a good event. He impressed me a lot on train, particularly cross placement, decision making. I really like what I have seen from Fleet. Almazer as well is having a good event, but FaceCrack is a little bit behind. I'd like to see more from him. So great things, bad things from the lineup, 50-50.
Definitely.
Where do your eyes fall?
You know, I think FaceCrack, he's so aggressive. He's the entry player, and they lost that first opening match by such a large margin. Then kind of struggled versus Marshall in this series. So I think that kind of makes sense for FaceCrack because he's that first man in. I'm looking at Exapower, man. He's the offer for this forZe side. I really appreciate his intelligence, his map control, how aggressive and forward he's willing to be for his team. I think it's really going to come down to Exapower just kind of trying to hold Art back, trying to hold Henny back.
Yeah, I mean, you just said it, and you're absolutely dead on. His aggression, right? When you look at forZe play on their CT side, their win condition is Z-Power putting him in a 5 versus 4. And they put him in the right conditions to do so, and he has the talent to make it work. I'm not saying that they create beautiful conditions and he only has to click. No. He's stepping up, he's doing what he needs to do. But this is part of the plan. If Z-Power cannot find the opening, and if forZe are forced to play a 5 versus 5 late round, this is where they struggle. This is where they will make wrong decisions, maybe a little bit of impatience. They need Z-Power to put them in that comfortable seat of a 5v4 and just have a good time.
Absolutely, and I have to mention Flit once more. You talked about his crosshair placement. I loved his crosshair placement as well, and I really appreciated his ability to react off of his teammates. As I mentioned before, he's like that second man in. He's able to go in and find the openings that his teammates allow and open up for him, and he capitalizes on it more often than not. I remember that 3K he got towards that camera stop sign on train, just flicking back and forth. It was beautiful to watch. Exapower and Flit absolutely need to step up for forZe.
All right, cool. Well, then let's turn over the rock and check the bottom side, all the wiggly worms on the side of Furia. Their opponents, forZe, anticipating a good matchup, and I'm looking to the individuals of this one and thinking, I've already seen this weekend them being down in rounds, and then all of a sudden the stars begin shining. You know, they're popping up in the night sky. So which stars shimmer the most here?
Right now, there are two names that we need to keep in mind, Henny and Yuri. These are the two locomotives, two engines of that lineup by a very, very large margin. I'm talking about 138 rating for Henny, 134 for Yuri. We saw his crazy backups on Overpass on the almost comeback. He had like 30 plus frag, even though they lost 14-16. These are the men. Henny is super aggressive. That is, to me, that's the one success of Furia in the past few months. That's his integration. It worked well. I think he fits in the lineup. He's doing his job. But at the same time, we find the same Furia I was commenting in semifinal of Dallas now trying to fight for their life here. Something went wrong along the way. I don't exactly know why, but this is not the same Furia we were talking about a few months ago. They are fighting to find that celebrity, that famousness back, but they don't have it at the moment.
Absolutely. It's like we got a new piece in Henny, what could have been like the biggest star for them. It's working well. He's succeeding, but I still feel like they struggle with some of the same problems that they did with AbleJ.
I think, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's like an identity crisis coming out of these Furia guys. You've got the aggression coming out of Art, the aggression coming out of Henny, and then the patience coming out of Yuri, and sometimes the patience coming out of Vinny. So it's, yeah, you know, and yesterday we saw that patience paying off huge dividends for Yuri towards that connector side on Overpass. I think if Yuri is able to kind of coordinate a little bit better with Art's aggression and Henny's openings and try to capitalize a little bit more, because we know he's got the skill. I mean, yesterday I said it, a little bit of luck, a lot of skill on these Furia side of things.
Yeah, that's what you're saying, the coordination, that's the issue. Even when Furia was at the top, and I would talk to other teams facing them, they would tell me, man, I don't understand the risk they take. I think that the individuals have too much riding on their shoulders.
Okay.
Furia's success goes way too much through crazy individuals. Granted, they have them, they have them, it happened in the past, we have seen it. But what do you do when Art going out of the middle connector and train doesn't find the opening? When he crosses the smoke and dies instead of eliminating his opponent, right? They don't really have that safety net of, we know how to play nice and easy, we need to frag all the time, and that's not Counter-Strike.
Well, talking individuals, we've got a little head-to-head before this best of 3 gets rolling, and that's an exciting one, because it's not the Oppers, as we've highlighted before, it's KSdorado and FaceCrack.
Yeah, it's the head-to-head of the what if. It's the head-to-head of this, there's more to come.
The X Factors.
Exactly, the X Factor, the promises. I mean, KSdorado, he has impressed me so much at so many different events. I love that player, I really do. But this event, he's been kind of quiet so far. He's the one that could be more, and that's the same for FaceCrack. I think Christian was dead on. He has a tough role, let's put it this way. He doesn't live under the sunshine. He has to go through this aggression, through the opening frag, but he could do more. I think he needs to do more if forZe wants to find, you know, that victory here. And these two players, they could be the X Factors.
All right, well, listen, if you're in the Twitch chat, you got some twiddly fingers, not sure what to do before the game gets going, I suggest you get active in chat, baby. Hashtag Furia, hashtag FZE, and we'll come back to your guys' predictions before this match goes live. Ooh, Furia and FaZe. In terms of the odds, FaZe, excuse me, forZe. It's because I said FZE. It's because I said FZE.
I'm not even going to hold it against you, because this is kind of a crazy matchup to have. I still cannot wrap my mind around the fact that we have Furia and forZe, two teams that if you'd asked me a week ago, I'd put them in the playoff in this event without thinking too much. I'd say surely they will make it to the semifinal, maybe even talking about grand final potential. Now one of them is going to go home very disappointed. And this is going to mean a lot for them. Whoever loses this, and if you listen to me players, I'm sorry for the pressure, but that's going to be an issue. If you're forZe or Furia and you don't make it through the group stage here, man, you got to think about what you're doing.
Yeah, we were saying earlier, like if Marshall is going to go ahead and beat forZe, then you know we're looking at roster changes. If they lose to Furia, I don't think it's that dire, but it is still like you're kind of hitting a bit of a wall that they had broken through originally, but it's been rebuilt and they haven't found a way across. But we've got to get the predictions up and ready. Currently, Mathieu, you do still have that 1-point lead. I'm not salty, I swear.
So am I supposed to go ahead as the leader, the current leader?
Give it to me.
Oh, sorry for that. Listen, I think Furia still have my vote. I do believe that individually speaking, they have impressed me more than forZe, right? And I hope that as a great team, as the great team that they want to be, they'll be able to step up their game as a team. The coordination has to be better, the team play has to be better, the decisions have to be better. But if they are the Furia that I have seen in the past, in the middle of the year, going up against the best team in the world, if they want to be that team again, today it has to be the day, so I'll go with Furia.
I absolutely have to echo that sentiment 100%. I think Furia should be able to win this series, although forZe obviously have a fighting chance.
Is there a curveball in there?
Yeah, man,
Oh,
if
no!
Extra Power brings those mechanics in and just popping off. But I'm going with Furia on this one.
I'm going to take forZe.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. I feel like this is a 50-50 matchup, and I think that they're coming into their own on this tournament. You know, they talked about the practice that they've used to come into this with prep, and that they have high expectations, right? So let's do it. Let's go ahead and jump into the other side of the boat. But we've also got Twitch chat, and we want to figure out where you guys fall, and that is on the side of Furia. So I stand here alone in the cold. Oh, Yongshipping, you know?
It's kind of cold.
Quite frigid. But we've got Twiddledee and Twiddledum over on the caster desk. It's Harry and Hugo this time around. How you guys doing?
He's definitely Tweedledum.
Yeah, I didn't say it.
I don't.
Yes,
No,
you did.
no. I'm not going to put up for that.
I'm going to leave you guys to figure this one out.
We'll squabble, go home.
You go. We've got some beef to squash
Right, let's
before we
do it,
get
Harry.
into this. You go. Yeah, so we're getting into this one now. We've got Furia versus forZe ready to go down on our screens. And I think, honestly, you know, based on what we've seen thus far from either one of these squads, I'd say the word that I've been feeling is underwhelmed thus far, right? Like, Furia come into this, man. They went on that astronomic rise not too recently, you know, a name that many, you know, weren't really counting on to begin with, and then suddenly Furia just blow up with this hyper-aggressive style of play. Thus far, though, here at DreamHack, I feel like, you know, they have looked a little bit slow.
Yeah, I mean, this is the ultimate test between these teams, right? Both these teams beat Marshall. Both these teams lost to Tricked on Overpass. Furia got a few more rounds there than the likes of forZe. But now we're going to have them put head-to-head, Harry. See the test, see who will be able to make it to those playoffs later on tomorrow. And we're going to find out on this first map, Inferno being our starter. And it's Furia beginning on the CT side.
Oh,
One day.
we tricked you. We got you. We got you. You thought it was going to start, but it wasn't. Everyone was all excited. We were ready to get in. But no, all good things require the most appropriate amount of suspense.
Bring it up, Harry. Hype us. Get us ready. I think we're going back in.
I'm getting us ready. Okay.
Oh.
So here it is, the battle of the Fs. Furia versus forZe. And only one team may win. The other, well, they're not looking too great. So we're almost ready to get back in. 10 players in the server now. And it is Inferno, that first map that we're going to be heading into. Hugo, I got to ask, we don't like doing predictions, but just like kind of your initial thoughts on this one. Who do you think has the highest potential to take it?
I'm leading the way of forZe, right? If they show up like they can, like the potential this team has. I obviously talked about on the desk, you know, this is a tournament they should be able to make a run. But at the end of the day, Harry, we're not here to guess. We're here to see the real results. The matchup is live. It's Furia forZe. It's a pistol push down middle for Yuri. Confident stuff for the Brazilians, as we like to see, and they will net an early advantage.
Oh, and then on the back of that, they're immediately going to rotate Henny away from this A-bomb site. He's going to go and supplement R over towards B. And now Vinny maybe even looking for a little bit more. Jerry is there. Vinny, very, very patient, waiting around. Still challenging in top mid. Got some balls on him, let me tell you. And oh, he is going to find himself another. Vinny, good start to this round, and he's going to go ahead and get 3. So now only Jerry left. He's been dinked down as well. And this pistol round, well, brilliant from Furia.
Yeah, Furia love this CT aggression on Inferno. I think this is going to be really exciting to watch in this first map. Already taking a confident start, and that's what you like to see. Vinny with a 3-piece, Henny with a couple more, and that's Furia getting the economy on their side of things to kick off this map. And the side of forZe, well, we're not really expecting a force, right? More commonly going to see that after bomb plants. forZe, they're just going to take a bit of an eco, give away a round, and come back in with AKs in number 3.
And an immediate change heading into this anti-eco round from Furia. They go and send 3 players towards this B side of the map. They'll throw a handful of nades down through Banana just to soften up any prospective targets. They'll spot no one there. So these SMGs are now going to try and work their way into the back line of forZe. forZe, though, they've completely ditched the back line. It's all about the front line, and that's where the fight is. Furia going to shut down everybody. They don't let that pistol round get out of hand. They are able to find all the kills and do not suffer a casualty. So that there is stellar stuff for the Furia gang.
And one thing that's exciting now is how are Furia going to attempt this bonus round? Will they bring the same level of aggression, and how does forZe counter that? You can see Kriegs are being brought up for the Russians, and if Furia are trying to bring the same aggression into this round, forZe will easily be able to hold passive if they want. Miss Molotov coming out from the T side, but no waiting around for forZe. They're going to run right into this AWP, and Henny nailing the first shot. quesoRato spotting even more players coming up, and he's just going to fall back.
Yeah, drops that flashbang off the fountain. quesoRato getting pressured and will get put down by FaceCrack, who now has opened up this little gap into CT. He's got that bomb on his back, though, and he's behind enemy lines. alMaze's going to come in and save the day just as that bomb was spotted. In the meantime, Art's worked his way down through Banana and has dealt with the one prong that was looking to come in from this side. So now this split is just a CT play from forZe. Furia, they're going to group all three players up over towards this A side of the map, and now with that bomb going down, they'll find themselves in a 3 versus 2 retake here of this B bomb site.
Very important that Art got that kill down bottom Banana, or this would have been a rough round for Furia. They group up and attempt it together, looking to trade their way to a win. alMaze can't trade this kill. FaceCrack gets grenaded out. alMaze with a spray, landing more and more damage, but the orb is posted on his position. He can't get out, but the grenade, he gives him a window, it gives him a chance, but Henny shuts it straight after, and that's Furia finding the retake in time. 3-0 on the CT side, and the orb is kept forward for another round.
I'm wanting to see a little bit more now, you know, with that one not panning out the way that forZe wanted. I want to see more than just these fast top mid plays. I don't think that's something that you're going to just slip by Furia undetected, especially, you know, they're kind of the masters of these very, very fast, aggressive plays up towards that A bomb site. So it feels like forZe, they've kind of played into Furia's hands to kickstart this one. It's not the end of the world, right? At least you've made these mistakes very, very early on in the game. And now, okay, you're going to give Furia that 4-0 lead. That's kind of the only heartbreaking thing. I think heading into that next rifle round, that's where we're going to see forZe slow things down, play that more default style.
Yeah, you make a great point, right? I understand forZe wanting to, you know, flex their muscles nice and early in this game and be aggressive and try and challenge the top of middle. But coming into round number 3, where you know you're up against multiple SMGs, even though the AWP was a bit of a surprise to see so early for Furia. I mean, yeah, forZe definitely running the gauntlet into those SMGs is going to leave you worse for wear. A man down as they come in for that B site plant, and unsuccessful in the round. So regardless, a bit of money given their way and some pistols can come through in round number 4.
I think as well, right, when you're up against Furia, they really are a team that thrive on the back of their initial successes, right? It normally takes them to take those first few steps in the right direction, but once they start walking, they almost immediately begin running, right? They're very, very quick in that regard. And with Furia, you know, getting off to this very, very good start and just being fed these kills over in top mid, I'm a bit worried that you're going to be building up these guys' confidence, you know, making them feel very at home in these aim duels. And forZe, well, they've partially invested into this round. That's an interesting thing to note. They are going to have that max loss bonus coming in, so still with a buy in the next one.
Good old Galils, man. So cheap nowadays, but oh, they might not get a chance to use them, Harry. Art somehow got himself in logs, and they're just going to run in blind, spray through the wall from Vinny, and then that's another frag. Furia are absolutely tearing forZe limb from limb. They're still committing with this aggression. They don't even need to, but it's working wonders. Z-Power down to 8, and the grenade from middle will finish his life. And Furia just all over the scoreboard right now. Finally, the first return kill from forZe, but I don't know if it's going to make all too much difference with another rotate coming down towards B.
So I was going to say, it might just be the mop-up for him, but no, they do manage to best the first man. However, as is often the case with Furia, when you've dealt with one, there's another waiting in the wings to cancel you out. So Jerry, he's going to throw the weapon out of the map. He wants to get that Galil back. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's a Mac 10 boy, and that would make a lot of sense. But running into the double peek at CT, it's not the prime situation for any gun, let alone the Mac 10. So Furia, they will get that 4-0. They sustain a little bit of damage there.
Yeah.
But nothing that's going to hurt them too much looking at the future.
I think one thing that's really important that we need to keep an eye on here for Furia on this CT side is knowing when to stop with the aggression and knowing when to group up and just play trades when you have those advantages. Obviously, they're flexing in the previous round. They have, you know, a lot of buys versus pistols and Galils, but it's important not to over-aggress in certain points.
This is a lovely read from Furia, right? They know that forZe were just trying that top mid aggression over and over and over again. So heading into this first rifle, it seems like they've kind of anticipated this move, and they send Yuri into the apartments to start to probe this A side of the map while they have this early 3-man stack at B. And it was looking like it was going to work out well for Furia. That is up until they just lose Yuri there moments ago. And so now for forZe, right, they don't even need to be pressuring this B side of the map if they don't want to. They can just sit back and wait for Furia to kind of mull this 4v5 over a bit.
Yeah, forZe actually just flashed to play it close there. Furia wanted to get aggressive, but they might not need to. They've somehow traded back. Art winning his duel and dropping Z Power 0 and 5. A player pointed out on the desk as someone who needs to perform today if forZe want to make it to those playoffs. Well, now is not the time, but an AWPer on the other side of things, Henny, is waiting in the wings on short side. He's got KScerato as well. Double setup here for Furia, but they have no info that forZe are wrapping them on long. Close peek, and Henny's going to hit the shot. Furia 4-on-3 now in 40 seconds. No rotate off of that B bomb site, but FaceCrack is just waiting to find a pick, a chance to get out through these apartments.
Oh, and Flick, along with this bomb, now closing the gap. They'll get spotted. KScerato not ready for the apartment's peak. Henny, nice flick into the bomb site. Still has to deal with this threat that lurks down in the big pit now. That's FaceCrack who's gotten into this position. He'll drop that smoke, gives him a one-way up on top of the bike, and serves a double purpose as well of denying any Molotovs that could look to go flying into the pit. So nice bit of utility usage there from FaceCrack. It's not going to yield him any results. Now he's had to drop down. Jerry getting away with damage, but not quite the kill, and you got to get those. FaceCrack still buying time, but he's getting flashed and will get finished off by Vinny. Defuse is going to come on in, and Furia a 5-0 start now, continuing to spiral out of control here on the CT side.
And look at the health. Everyone below 30 HP as they get in for that retake. It's so unfortunate for Jerry. He goes wide, exposed to apartments, exposed to the player coming in on the retake, and he gets a lot of damage off onto Art, but doesn't finish a kill. Maybe if he gets that frag and gets traded, it's winnable. FaceCrack could have closed it, but the fact that he goes wide and doesn't get anything from it means that, yeah, Furia 3-on-1, no problem with closing out that round, and they will keep this flawless.
Well, Henny, aka Bames John, 700, he's going for this aggressive mid-peek. He had the spawn. Instead, he's going to drop that Molotov and doesn't actually go peeking into the back of it. Probably the right choice to make, considering Z-Power's got this AWP out now. Over on the T side. I do think T side Inferno is where forZe are going to struggle the most. I think the second half is where they can look to come alive, although they might be about to get their first on the board now with a double entry presenting itself over towards B. Furia, they know that they're not in the driver's seat, at least for this round, any longer.
These are the rounds you dream of as a T on Inferno. 2 instant kills on Banana, and it means you can just play into the site, and Furia have to go for retake. At this point, retake is turned into a save as Henny gets picked up above the smoke. And yeah, with 2 kills coming in such quick succession, you know that there's just not going to be a third player there. There's not going to be a rotate in time. As long as you smoke off that CT choke point, you can get a bomb plant. And forZe, bombs late to the party, not really going to matter. They've still got the site in the round. KScerato tried to get the AWP with a grenade by blowing it over, but he was unsuccessful, and so might just stick around to see if the bomb blows it into his favor. That being said, there's still lurkers, Harry, and FaceCrack, he's looking for revenge on this A site.
Actually, if you look at the minimap, all of forZe are hunting. Everyone, all 5 players, the hounds have been let loose, and they're looking for Furia players. KScerato gets that kill, but look at this minimap, man. It's terrifying. A conga line of death is coming his way, and there it is, Jerry to finish him off. So the hunt prevails. They take down everybody there. forZe going to get their first round on the board. And, you know, sometimes it is just getting that first one up there that can seem oh so challenging. And then once you got it, you can try and come alive a little bit more. Because finally, you've been able to look at a round and figure out at least something that worked for you, right? So maybe we see a little bit more pressure from forZe over towards Banana once again, especially when you think about how unsuccessful some of these A plays have been.
This AWP hopefully can have a chance as well for Z-Power. He's on 0 kills, but he's got the gun back in his hands, sitting at the bench in middle. Furia have 3 on B again, Harry, so they are keen for this stack, and Art has been cut off by his team. So he can't continue to help, but as the Molotov fades, so do forZe's chance of getting this top B pick. Furia back off, but that's a nice start. Z-Power, first frag up towards the top of middle, taking down the CTA WP. forZe can now sit back and relax, wait for Furia to react. But most importantly, in a 4-on-5 like this is such a good round to just go execute into that B bomb site, hoping that Furia don't risk a stack here. But actually, that's exactly what's going on. Ardo's got the read. He's come through with the AWP, not swapping positions, just bolstering the site, but he runs around the corner with no info. Flick can take him down, and he'll double up as well. Third man here. forZe have got the info, but they've also got a 5-on-2.
Oh, and this B site is now proving to be a bit of a problem for the Brazilian CT side, as once again it's crumbled. That said, the bomb's rotating back down Banana. Both these players for Furia are over on the A bomb site trying to save.
No.
And forZe, oh dear, this was their round. They had B under lock and key, and instead they've turned away. They've gone running into the guns of these defending players. This was a 5v2, and now both players staying alive for Furia. Oh no, that moment of doubt, that 1 second of switching things up, anticipating that there were players rotated in, it comes back to punish forZe in such a big way.
That 3-man setup was everything, right? Over towards the B site. It made forZe feel that it was a full stack, and they just decided, screw it. We can rotate towards A. We know there's a maximum of 1 player here. There's a chance that both were on B, but yeah, Furia 1 step ahead of the game with an even faster rotation, and the shots behind it as well.
You could just tell that started to get out of control because forZe, like, they're just taking these peaks. It almost felt like out of panic, right? You still had a player over at B. You only had 4 guys A side, and so suddenly everyone's scrambling to get these trades, get these 1 kills, which, you know, doesn't feel like it was going to be the hardest thing for forZe to do, considering how successfully they get into that B site. And so they're just brimming with confidence, and in the end, it comes back to punish them in a very, very big way. forZe, you cannot afford to be making these mistakes. And they know it. So a new round, a new day, and they're going to set up outside of the B site once again early on with a couple of players over in the apartments, just applying pressure to this side of the map. Z-Power is one of them, and he's got this AWP. Might look to be this first point of contact in this round. He's going to set up and try and hold for this long cross. He can watch these rotations around the bomb site, and Henny, well, might find himself in a bit of danger if he's not careful about the apartments.
Yeah, it goes both ways, though. The barrel of Z-Power's gun would be a problem if he goes forward. He might get spotted by Yuri, who's playing on top of this balcony, but Z-Power doesn't want to commit. They're going to walk back towards B. forZe have thrown an early smoke towards CT to bait out utility, but Furia still have 1 smoke left. That's in the hands of Art. It will go out, and forZe will go in. 25 seconds as this push comes through. Nice spray from Art. He can only see the legs, but he's chopping them up. Nice and finally serving them on a platter here on the B-bomb site. 2 kills and finally a trade. Art gets dropped as well in the back of the site, and face crack killing Caserato, who goes through a smoke. A very confident round for Furia, but maybe not one that they could afford now as a 2-on-2 retake comes in to control the economy. Loser of this round is going to be out of money. It's an important one.
And both Z-Power and FaceCrack going for this double setup in Ruins. This is almost perfect for this retake attempt from Furia. Both players there on either side of the field, and that's going to favor forZe all day long. They'll take that second round. They get it locked in nice and early on, immediately coming in with that reset onto Furia.
I love that smoke as well. I think it was thrown by Art at the back of the site that lands sort of on the blue boost, and it lets him see those T's legs in the pool without them seeing him back. Really, really nice play from Furia, coming out with these little tricks just to catch off the Russians, and they will do so. 6-2 though, forZe able to put 1 on the board and break the money of Furia. forZe up and a fight down Banana that nets him a kill. It trades down to Jerry, and Almeza gets tagged as well. That's pretty successful for Furia, but with forZe backing off in towards the A site, question still remains, can they actually win a round on this side of the map? Furia have been so good at this A defense.
And you can see, right, forZe have really been lulled into going towards this A bomb site. So much utility goes down Banana. It's enough to flat out kill Jerry and bring Almeza down low. And then you see 2 players there on top of the kill that you get. So you know this side of the map is going to be a little lackluster in terms of its defense. You can see that Vinny is beginning his rotation round now up on the minimap. He's got to speed things up, though, if he's going to get here in time for this A play. forZe, they're already down short. They've got a kill now from the apartments. Yuri's going to drop that smoke, and with it, he should know whereabouts he lies, although no one's checked for him. Finally, Almeza goes up, and above, and gets him over the top of the smoke. So forZe No problems for them there up against the pistols of Furia.
And this is them back in the game, Harry, off of the back of that, because now Furia, no money, 6-3 is likely going to go 6-4 to forZe now, as Furia, they can't afford to invest more than Zeus's and a couple of flashbangs. One flash on Art, expecting a bit of a mid-push here from the 4-man A setup of Furia. But this is one that forZe will be ready and waiting for. AWP is scoped down middle, is going to have a sight line. Even though they stick towards the bench wall, eventually they're going to come into the view of these Ts, and there they go. One frag off the USP, but immediate trades from forZe keep this round under control. Art alone. If he could drop the bomb, that'd be something, but it's not going to be conducive to winning the round at this rate. And he's been spotted as well, so no chance. Almeza finds the headshot. Team ace for forZe. Everyone getting a frag on that anti-eco, and now Furia coming back in with guns. But no AWP.
And this is where that signature Furia aggression that honestly, they weren't really going too aggressive early on. They tried to do it a couple of times in these last few, right? You think with these banana pushes especially, and it's just time and time again, it's been giving a forZe a real foot in the door in a lot of these rounds. I would love to maybe see them fall on back more into that bomb site. They will be bringing the AWP out on Henny, actually. We were wondering if they were going to have it, and they've gone for that glass cannon.
I saw the money. I just assumed it'd be a bit big of a risk to pull out glass cannon, but hey, if you're feeling it, he is top of the board. Why not?
And I'm looking at his spawn. It's not the best mid-spawn I've ever seen, but he could definitely look to make something happen from it. Maybe instead of peeking down mid, he's going to go towards the B-bomb site along with the 3 other players here. They might look to try and set Henny up with the AWP so they can play a more A-focused setup here, especially with these deep smokes going in. They're going to just overrun Banana early on and force forZe out of this side of the map.
Yeah, that is not a fight you want to be taking if you're Z-Power. Smoke spamming versus a B stack, he gets tagged so heavily. Dangerous games here for forZe. They've taken top mid though in the meantime. Furia, because they went for this 4-man B setup at the start, they still had a player on A, but they weren't able to hold deep middle. They had to set up passively instead. And now putting the AWP in Banana, like you said, Harry, like you called, it's enabled a 4-man A setup here for Furia. Playing the smoke is Vinny. He's going to have support from Art as well. They can play a crossfire or a bait setup, but why not just shoot through the smoke instead?
Oh, that's heartbreaking for forZe. They were waiting for that smoke to dissipate before they had any chance to go for the trade, and the moment it does, the moment they start to creep up to long again, instant re-smoke comes down. And so forZe, they feel like they're being trapped in a bit here, like rats in a maze. Start to look for some solutions around the short side. Jerry, in the meantime, wins that fight onto Henny alone at B. XP Power going to get down through short, and Jerry picking up that AWP at the B bomb site has found himself another. This bomb is now rotating away from A. It doesn't want to hang around anymore, and that is the perfect call to make. Yuri and Keserato are so far removed from this B bomb site. At this point, despite the low HP, you're looking at this, Hugo, and you're thinking, they're just going to save.
Yeah, it's not like Furia know the exact health that forZe have either. That's such a sick play from Jerry, right? Knowing there's a 4-man B setup, getting up top B, killing that solo AWP. That, you know, we didn't see it, but I wonder where Henny was playing, because that was a kill that you need to be able to hit at least the first shot, right, if you're playing that solo B position. And then on top of that, Z-Power even goes aggressive on short and kills the long player. So that's the first point of rotation towards B gone for Furia. Art gives it his best shot, but Jerry catches him in rotation. That's a perfect round for forZe, and it's going to force a save from Furia. 5 on this T side, and not really enough money to fall by, so it's got to be pistols around these 2 guns.
And I don't know if this is just me like looking too deeply, but maybe this is where Furia and the fact that they're very, very used to playing up against these kind of higher tier teams that play very, very regimented Counter-Strike aren't quite ready for some of these more unorthodox plays that someone like Jerry loves to call. Like here, for example, the immediate push up through Banana, grabbing that AWP, barreling into the site. You saw Art wasn't even considering the option that he would already be peeking solo at the B side of the map, right? They already knew the rest of the guys were over on A. I think they just figured Jerry was going to be a bit of a lurk and slow things down. I mean, we do call Jerry style, you know, sometimes unorthodox, right? He does like to make some very ballsy calls, and Furia, no exception to that. You know, they kind of fall into that same category. And so I think that's why we do have such an interesting, such now a close matchup on our hands. It definitely felt like a bit of an anomaly with that huge start from Furia. And now we're seeing the forZe we wanted to see in the server.
Yeah, and a good setup for Furia towards B, but the issue is no one's there for forZe. They have 4 players working middle right now, so adjustments might need to be called for Furia. They will send quesorato over. And actually joined by Vinny as well. That's again a solo B setup for Furia, but this time with no AWP, and that makes things even more difficult. Luckily enough, the read looks to be correct for the time being, but remember Jerry's at bottom mid with the bomb, so I imagine we're going to see him late take Banana again, try and work his magic. Furia looking for some wizardry of their own over towards his smoke, but it will be pushed back with that Molotov landing on the corner, and now forZe walking back in towards B, and this is perfect. This is right when Art's fallen back, so even if a rotation comes through, Furia have no information towards Banana. They've heard forZe all over middle, and this is going to completely catch them off guard.
And Art going to drop that smoke at the very, very least to try and keep them out of B, but forZe, I imagine they go straight through this, man. I don't think they're looking to waste any time, and they do go in, and they find results immediately. CT and the B site player both shut down and out of the round already. Bomb plant comes in with 8 seconds left on the clock, and Flit is still doming heads. These 2 remaining players are going to try and save. And now, if you're watching at home, this is where things get a little bit worrying for Furia, because what we just saw there, forZe do that exact same strategy as they did in the in the last round. They set that early A default and then immediately fake into B. And both times, they've now found overwhelming success from it. This is where, from Furia, we need to see some sort of adjustment. We need something to change.
Well, that's the crazy thing as well. We're just talking about, you know, you just mentioned how Furia have not been throwing in any of these aggressive rounds, and even in this one, they just lack the information. 2 rounds ago, they had Henny spotting Banana at least, but this time you're running solo B with, you know, I guess Art has a smoke, and that's the justification for backing off, but at 20 seconds, forZe are going through that smoke, whether you like it or not.
And this is where, like, Art is so often the man for Furia to create all this space and go for these, like, lurk information plays, and I think the forZe, they've done a really good job of scaring him out of that over towards B. Anytime he tried to go aggressive down Banana, it was met with heavy, heavy resistance. So they've really, really restricted what he can kind of bring to the table over at this B side of the map. I think a lot of that responsibility is now going to fall to someone like Yuri to go for these aggressive apps plays, perhaps, a little bit later on in the round. Because as we've noted, it's always been this kind of minute-long fake over in mid, over at top mid, before they make their mind up as to where exactly forZe want to end up with that bomb.
Well, finally, Furia have committed to the Banana control. They had players down bottom logs, but they will give it up. That's fine. They've got the info at least, and they've forced forZe towards middle, rather. 4 players in this position. Jerry still combating this utility barrage down on the B bomb site, but that's not going to be of much interest for the time being, as forZe once again set up these smokes to get themselves out into middle. Long smoke thrown in by Z-Power. And with apps control forZe, if they want, they can flash players into the pit. Furia have a triple B setup right now. Jerry is keeping all these players under control and, you know, really just dedicated. It's quesorato rotating just to throw a smoke, and he'll come back towards A late. Henny tucking in the long corner. Nice little setup, and no one's watching it. The smoke is faded, and there's the AWP gone from forZe. Huge opening kill for Furia, but they realize they don't have control over the site. They've got to flash their way back in. Flit, crucial frag out of the apartments, but Vinny's lined up a double as well. That B rotate coming through, but it might not be needed. It's face cracked alone, and Yuri will take him down. 7 rounds for Furia, finally finding some success here on the CT side after a streak from the Russians.
And once again, you know, the A site, it holds its own. It holds its ground. Every single time that forZe have tried to go there, it's not panned out for them. And this is where, you know, heading into round 14, I think if you're Furia, you're going to be worried about forZe just going back into one of those B plays, right?
Yeah.
So maybe now, I think there's double AWP. Yeah, there's double AWP over on the side of Furia. They've just invested into that. You can almost bet that they're going to try and send one of them over towards B, try and set him up. In that kind of railgun watchtower position, right, just to be this sentry turret at Banana. Z-Power's going to have his on the other side of the table, so there will be someone to challenge that if Furia do try and go for it.
Ooh, that's a team grenade in spawn by forZe. I imagine they're trying to throw it out the map to buy like a flashbang or something, but it actually rebounded and did a significant damage. That makes these M4s one-shots, Harry. That makes these AWP legs kills.
Man, you think it's bad enough when your teammates knife you matchmaking in spawn? Well, whoever just threw that nade has done a little bit to everybody.
Hey, that ADR is through the roof, Harry.
Yeah, utility damage is just flowing right now. not the greatest start. As you were saying, like that does have a real impact. It makes these M4s that much more deadly, but actually that might not matter because as it turns out, Z Power and Flit with the Krieg and AK combo might have done enough, but forZe over at short, doubling down before he's traded, and Art now coming in on this rotation through B. That bomb has been retrieved and picked up. FaceCrack's going to start to plug in the numbers, and Art has still not made a drop of noise. So much as a decibel hasn't graced the ears of Flit, but that doesn't matter because the bullets are there anyway. He's going to lock in the kill, and with it, a 7th round. So now tying things up, Hugo, as we head into the last one.
Really nice proactive play from FaceCrack. I've been waiting to see that all game long. Someone finally dropping out of the apartment and getting into the pit, getting into behind enemy lines. Furia have not been playing that short side setup. They've been playing sometimes inside of A site, but never pit and rarely AAA. So nice play from FaceCrack, reading the situation after those trades go down on Porch, and he keeps the round in their favor. Art, however, has had enough, Harry, and he's going to push down mid with a kill. Z-Power has been getting domed in this game by the enemy AWP players, and that will not change.
I do think that comes with the caveat, you know, T-side AWPing a lot harder. I do think Z-Power, he's still someone to keep an eye on because this second half that's coming up, that's where I'm expecting forZe to really bring the heat, and I think that's where we have to see Furia try and go above and beyond. It's looking like a B play right now for forZe. They're outside of this site. They're grouped up on Banana. 3 players here with once again that lurk over in the apartments. Art, blind, smoked, still gets a kill.
Our the AWP, Harry. And yeah, I mean, this is a weak buy for Furia for the last round of the half. They've got almost no utility left. So the fact that Art's landing these shots is so important to get them over the line for the first half. forZe, do they have anything left in the tank? This is their final T-side round, and they're down to a 3-on-5. AWP is gone, and a B execute is happening, but 2 players here should be enough to at least hold onto the site for some time. Art looking for yet another kill through the edge of this smoke, but he gets pushed back, missing the shot. Chance to go back towards Coffins. forZe not fighting. He wants to stall as long as he possibly can. Now finding the timing to go out wide, but he's dead. Vinny trades on atop the boost, and he gets a double as well. Surely this round is done. Jerry, he's got to get so much done with 20 seconds, and Art catches him on the reload through the smoke. 8 rounds for Furia, and that's the first half just taken. Let's see if they can keep this one up, or if forZe will pull the comeback after the break.
We are split right down the middle, 8-7 in favor of Furia as that first half draws to a close. And now, well, moving in to the second, Furia going to be over on this T side. forZe CT half underway, and this is where you want to see Z-Power come alive with that AWP. That's what we're hoping for. Furia setting up for a slow pistol round here as they spread out, take this default early. Try and get some information. Z-Power's going to go peeking in top mid. We'll see 1 player for his troubles, but not going to be any kills gained just yet. You'll notice utility on both Art and forZe. Over here towards the B side of the map, and Henny's going to remove that first man. Flit has to stay alive because with him falling, that B site is very weak indeed. Z-Power goes down mid, but is immediately dealt with. Nothing comes out of that flank, and Almaze has been dinked as well. While he's got this flashbang to maybe get him 1 kill, that's not enough. And even then, that doesn't come through. So this pistol round has gone dominantly in favor of Furia.
Yeah, not what you like to see from forZe there, but Furia, nice patience in the pistol. They know that forZe are going to get antsy. They're going to want to force fights, and I mean, pushing down mid, aggressing in Banana. Jerry, even unable to escape down B. You see that sometimes he jumps around the corner, and the reason he's jumping is to obviously let him strafe in the air and get around the corner faster. But the fact that he's elevated means he's exposed to the player on logs, and that gets him killed. If he didn't jump, he may have survived, but there you can see it. Unfortunate stuff. You can never really plan for that. And that will be Furia just dealing with the triple B setup nice and easily and starting off this T side with a bang.
It almost feels like, to me, these are the sides that both these teams are going to do better on. Like, this is, I think, where you get to see peak Furia and peak forZe in this map. This is the half I was looking forward to. And that's kind of reinforced by this immediate force buy from forZe. They're feeling confident, and you understand why. Henny's already been removed by this scout over on the hands of Z-Power. And now Furia sat a man down. It's going to become all too apparent that this force buy has come in. So as a result, they slow things right down. They're going to group up outside of the B bomb site. And if they do decide to commit to this forward, they've got 3 players here. Z-Power, he's just everywhere.
That's the bomb,
he's all
Harry.
over the map. The bomb's dropped. It's gone through the smoke, by the way. In his dying breath, Art's just throwing that into the arms of the enemy. And so now Vinny's trying to retrieve it. He's been able to grab it with his long old arms, but just about escaping from the clutches of these CTs at the top of Banana. Furia, 3 versus 4. This is looking dangerous still.
Yeah, I mean, they've got no map control towards A. They're just going to execute into this B site, and Jerry's here to get ahead of the smokes. He's able to get back behind U-Box. There's a Molotov. It will land for the Oranges, and it's going to push him out, but Z-Power is just not stopping. He's on his 3rd kill with his Scout. Didn't even buy armor, doesn't need it from the headshot angle, and more damage being laid down is only going to soften up these targets for later consumption. Yuri taking Jerry off of the site, and Z-Power still looking for more. 20 seconds, they've got to get this bomb down. The banana flank is coming in for Flit, and the pressure really falling into the hands of Furia. They're just not on this plant yet, and they're not going to be able to. The bomb dropped in the open, all the CTs out in the out in the site, and FaceCrack's going to finish off the round. That must be a heartbreaker for Furia. They die to the Scout in middle at the start of the round. They go, all right, Lance, let's just go B. And straight away, Z-Power is already there, all over the place, and up in their face. It's forced finding the force.
Yeah, the forZe is with them. Now, at 8th round, gracing their scoreline. A force buy back from Furia. Didn't get a bomb plant, obviously, and already that AK's been dropped. Art had it, and had being the operative word, because now it's lost to the clutches of this AWP over in mid. It's even scary to try and retrieve it. Finally, Vinny, man, he must have long arms. He's always the one to grab things. He's like, loving life. And he's going to throw that AK over into the arms of Henny. Z-Power.
Ooh.
I don't, he must be like, is he teleported or something? Because now he's over at B again. After just striking a man from the tally down in middle, he's immediately repositioned. And Z-Power, credit's got to go to him, because already he's doing a stellar job of keeping Furia guessing as to where this AWP lies.
They swap positions with someone on that A site, so there's still 3 players there, and as Furia back off into A, there is no easy path to a bomb plant here. Ollie coming down at the 50-second mark. Do Furia reconsider on this A play? No, they're going to commit to it. The bomb is here as well. quesorato holding for that wrap, but he's actually got a smoke, so he might be lining something up, might be lining up that long smoke to get them into CT spawn potentially. You can throw that from down in the pit. Flash out. Almeza, though, missing shots. Henny's killed his teammate. That is not how you wanted this round to go for Furia. Motor smoke is down. It lets them get into the site and shields them from the pit. The Flit is already here. And FaceCrack's come to join him from the graveyard. He's going to be putting these bodies in coffins. 2 Ts left up. quesorato down low. Henny, same story, but the ammo's out. Luckily, the pistol's in. And this should be a nice round for forZe. quesorato's gone as well. And what a start to the CT side these Russians are showing. Harry, you said this is where both teams should be more comfortable, and that's certainly showing for forZe.
Yeah, I just can't wait till we get to this first Furia full buy, right? Like they've been a bit hamstrung thus far. They get that they get the buy in the second, obviously, but it's not a full rifle buy, right? With AKs and AWPs in hand. This should be forZe taking the lead now as well, unless something goes really wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm not too worried about that. forZe not really a team that's going to let this get out of hand. And yeah, FaceCrack and Flit. They're going to give me a bit of a case study in exactly why I have that faith there. They shut down the attempted top mid push nice and easily. A flawless round from forZe. But now this buy is looming for Furia. They're going to be bringing out AKs across the board almost. Maybe Henny going to be the man to don the Krieg right now, as he doesn't have the cash to bring that AWP in play.
We're seeing a surprising reduction in Krieg since the price increase. People are calling it a nerf. I hate that word. It's not a nerf because, you know, the stats are still the same in my opinion at least. But yeah, price increase, and it has dissuaded some players from getting on the board. Z-Power, no fear, man. He's just pushing smokes on the B site, takes down quesorato to kick off this round. And this is the power that a confident, aggressive AWP player can bring to your team. He's going to swap once again, Harry, that teleportation back towards the A site. Only 2 players here now. Flit's going to have to reconsider the swap, but he is indecisive in the spawn. Z-Power with a re-smoke, and yeah, now we're definitely going to see that rotate. Art finding an opening kill up on A, and Z-Power, of course he's here, he's there, he's everywhere, and he's put forZe back in the advantage.
Oh, and even then, another man is now in rotation, set up on the speedway over at Archside. Z-Power's got into the enemy lines, and there's players in apartments. That's the one thing that maybe could gain some ground here for Furia, but the bomb's just been dropped, and now that's under forZe control. Yuri, he's been looking good at DreamHack thus far, but a 1v3 in this situation with Bomb just being guarded by these 3 players for forZe, dropped over in Boiler as well. He's got to fight close quarters. It's going to be urban warfare here for Yuri if he wants to go for this one. 25 seconds left. He'll start to make his presence known, and now that they know he's here, they triple peek into him, and there's just too many targets on the screen. Sadly, it's no smart gun. It's not going to do the aiming for you. That's forZe 11-9 up, and once again, no money left for Furia. We were mentioning how Z-Power with this AWP on the CT side, it's very, very likely to see him start to step up massively. Well, he comes into this second half with 7 kills. Now he's already on 14.
So many opening duels being won by this man, constantly getting 4s and 5-on-4s, whether it be on A or B. He's going to go back towards middle. Pistols in the hands of these Ts, and Z-Power waiting patiently for a frag, but nothing getting presented. Furia avoiding middle. And I don't really blame them. But eventually they're going to move up into position, and Z-Power is going to have to hit his shots once again. First man through the smoke, and Art's already gone. There's no trade here for Furia. They're going to try their best at this aggressive play, but now setting up towards the A site. Smoke on short. This lets them cross towards the site. FaceCrack waiting for it, but they've already got up and past him. They're in the graveyard. FaceCrack, he needs this kill, but now he's just gifted a gun over. Stuck in the open. Vinny with an AUG, and he's going to find a follow-up kill, dropping the AWP, and even another one. That one drop gun has saved the day for Furia, and they might be able to hold on to this site.
Oh, it's such a shame because Armazer, he knows the AWP. He's looking for it. Ah, they're so close. They're so close. But close is not close enough. And Armazer and Flit, they've just got to hold on to these guns. They're ducking out of the round. They're admitting defeat versus these pistols. And Furia, they will take that all day long. A 10th round. As they get ever closer to tying this one up once again. Oh, collateral. Damage done through both players there.
I'm loving some of the smokes we're seeing being used in this game already. Smokes that I haven't seen, at all, really. That Furia throw a set smoke that lands in front of the cart. It lets them get up short with those pistols, get onto the site, and overwhelm stuff. You see FaceCrack, he's desperately looking for a frag. I think it would have been far safer to see him stay in the pit, but after he spots someone get graveyard, he commits to try and take down Vinny and just gets spun on by the CT.
That smoke creates just such an awkward scenario for that pit player, right? It's like, do I stay pit and leave my teammate in the site to fend for himself? Because then, if everyone else dies, you're left in pit, you're trapped, right? You're behind, you're in the enemy lines, you're not behind them. And now this fast mid play to completely change the pace from Furia. They speed this round right up, and forZe, they're not quite ready for it. The flash was good, but Z-Power just a little late to that peak. And this has allowed Furia to get into CT spawn. 4 players here, and this is still looking like an A play. And with that kill now coming in, that becomes even more likely.
Yeah, they have players in the apartments. Keserato, if he finds the right time to strike, he can kill the player at the back of the site. FaceCrack making noise. Molotov going down, and this is where you surely should see Keserato come through. There's a play from FaceCrack, but the smoke is not in his favor, and they're going to be able to take him down. Only 1 for Flit, and it's not enough, Harry. It's going to be a bomb plant here for Furia, and once again a 4-on-2. That is save city for forZe. Still sat on the B site with no intention of coming after this round, and no money on these 2 players either, so this save does make a hell of a lot of sense for forZe. I like the change of pace from Furia, throwing a spanner in the works. They've been pretty obsolete on middle, not been showing any mid-control, allowing it as Z-Power to really do what he wants, get aggressive in second mid with that scout in round number 2 of the half, even a fight down ramp and Mexican, but in this one, Furia just run right up middle, and forZe were too busy setting up that AWP to be ready for the pace. 11-11, close as can be here in this first map of the series.
And this is where, thankfully, with those weapons being saved and Z-Power and Armazer both, Z-Power and Flit having some residual cash, you're still able to get a pretty decent investment into this round over on the forZe side, right? But make no mistake, if they lose this one, they'll be ecoing. And that there, and an 11-11 scoreline on your CT side this late in the game, when your AWP has been so key, you cannot afford to be taking these ecos. For forZe, this is a hugely important round that they're able to pick up.
Early B control, once again, being the name of the game here for the T side, but Vinny needs to be careful because there's an AWP around that corner. Scoped in on his position, and wow, surprisingly missed shot from Z-Power. Not what we would expect, but gives a second chance here for Furia, and that AWP has already begun its path back towards the A site, knowing that Furia are doing their best to avoid Z-Power themselves. That is going to be the case. The bomb's coming up middle. We've got Flick close short, might get flash around this corner. Confident plays from forZe. Z-Power also aggressing. This could be well timed, but the AWP is posted on long. He's about to walk into the firing line if he goes any further. But who will be the first man to break? It is going to be Z-Power.
And with that kill coming in, what a huge scalp to find, right? You've dealt with the player that's just been able to turn these rounds single-handedly in favor of forZe, and now you've just got to get over the remaining hurdles. FaceCrack and Flit still here inside of the A bomb site, but it's this wrap from Art through the smoke that's going to blindside both of them. And for forZe, once again, that save call's just got to come in. You're not getting back into this one.
I'm surprised forZe didn't read that play there. After the long player goes down, Furia throw a motor smoke, and if you're forZe, you've got to be questioning, why is there a motor smoke? They have long control. It's not like they're coming up short and they need to hide for the AWP, from the AWP. Of course, there's that chance of a rotation from Library, but yeah, a bit of a surprising one. forZe not reading into the fact that Furia was throwing a motor smoke just to go through it. I love that play though. It's just such a ballsy one from these Ts, and they can afford to do that in a 5-on-3. Another round taken.
This is why, I was saying, like, I think this is going to be the best look of both of these teams, is because CT side, right, we were saying how forZe have done such a good job of stopping, in particular, Art from going for these, like, aggressive information plays. But here, on the T side, where he sets the pace, where he can find these little gaps in the defense, that's where he thrives. And in this round here, he delivers in spades, right, getting both of the players that are left inside of the bomb site from it. So he's looking good right now. Is Art second on the board, only to Vinny. And that music can only mean one thing: tactical pause for forZe. It all rhymes, so it's got to be right. 15 seconds left on that one. They've got a bit of time to mull this over before we get back into this game. They can feel it slipping through their fingers, and they know you've just got to hold on that little bit longer. They're going to have those 2 M4s to work with and a partial investment around it, but that is it heading into round 24.
Yeah, pressure's on, right? This has felt like a forZe, well, I say comeback, it was an 8-7 but this second half, it felt all in favor of forZe in the opening few. They got 4 out of the first 5 with that AWP working wonders for them. Well, now it's not in the server, it's only in the hands of Henny. Furia, again, taking top B, and forZe without enough utility to commandeer this part of the map. I like the setup, though. Double boost, porch, and one of the balcony plays from Almeza. It allows them to rotate the long player off, knowing that mid is indeed covered. Even if there's a smoke going down, forZe can stop Furia from getting up through the long and into CT spawn. That won't be a worry for now, but it does mean that their apartments is open. Always a chance for a pit drop. Nothing that Furia are looking to do, though, just wanting to fight in middle with a smoke down on short. That's going to make things difficult. Flashes to follow. Rotation coming back in from Flit, and Jerry going to spot the first man. Nice kill. forZe, they don't have a lot of weapons, so they might as well back off and just give away this control. They've got to pick. They're making Furia question that A site, and back into B they go.
Yeah, I love that decision from forZe, just to disengage, right? Because, not only now are you not risking losing that man advantage, but if Furia do decide now to go back towards this B side of the map, there's an AK over in top mid that you can look to retrieve and get that on one of these armored players. forZe are going to decide to rotate very heavily back towards B. They've read into this as the B play, and that CT smoke that just gets thrown in there from Henny is going to sell that even more. And this leaves just Almeza over at this A side of the map.
Look at this, so 15 seconds. They've got to go right here, right now, and they're going to hear all the footsteps. Almeza, he's dead in the water. Nothing he can do as Henny's already on the angle. Jerry now low HP in the pit. The one rifle, and he can't stand the test of time either. Time just enough for Furia as the bomb gets planted. And forZe, they might just consider saving these scavenge guns, looking for exits with the pistol players, but no exits allowed. Yuri drops face crack in mid, and Z-Power may as well wait around in the pit. It's going to be a 13th round for Furia, as we expected with the buy being low from forZe, but they are running out of opportunities here. 3 away from a map victory. And remember, this is forZe's pick.
With Nuke coming up next, the map that Furia have looked convincing on as of late, it's a little bit worrisome. Time is running out for forZe if they want to make this a victory. 13-11 now. This game still feels incredibly close. For me, the thing that's making me so worried is just that Furia have complete control of the money in this game, right? You look at those bank accounts over on the Brazilian squad. Okay, there's one player with $3,000. That's not great, but the rest, you know, they're all up at like the 10K mark. And forZe, they're nowhere near that. This AWP has come out over in the hands of Z-Power again, and he's got extra cash, so he can keep buying that up. Or damage found from the AWP nice and early, so an immediate return on that investment, but it's not quite the kill. Surely he gets one here. It's almost more impressive to not get a kill with that many players going through the smoke. Z-Power's flashed off the angle again. They've done such a good job of cancelling this AWP out of the round, and with it, Furia, they're going to find the 14th.
Yeah, Vinny's still using this AUG he got from face crack coming out of the pit a few rounds ago, and man, is he finding frags with it on this T side. 2 opening kills on A, and another round conceded by forZe. This is such a rough position to be in. Money dripping away, rounds coming to a close and not in your favor either. Nothing more heartbreaking than having to constantly save on the CT side of Inferno. That always feels rough, especially when, you know, your key players, your AWP is gambling on the wrong side of the map and doesn't get any effect into the round. Got to hope the Z-Power can find those opening kills moving into the next one. As you said, those smoke shots just not hitting.
One of the things as well that's so problematic is because of the speed that Furia have been playing over towards A, you can't do that classic strat that so many teams do to deal with this sort of situation, and that is you set your AWP up alone at Banana with 3 players there early, and then you have a 4-man stack inside of A. The problem you're going to have is if you send 3 players to B, well, these 2 players on A are just going to get cut to pieces in the first 10 seconds of the round, and then you're saving again. So they haven't been able to do that. That AWP's been forced to play over at the A side of the map. And they've been able to shut it out of this round time and time again on the back of the utility.
Yeah, 3rd pause for forZe, whereas only 1 has been needed for Furia. And that, I mean, you know, pause is a great way of showing who's feeling the most comfortable right now. And you can guess it's the Brazilians on the map pick of forZe. 3 rounds up and 2 rounds away from a win on Inferno. AWP's back out, Harry, but are they going to find the effect? That's been the question of this entire game long. 2 players towards B here for forZe. They're actually going to fight on the short side as well. Looking to engage in middle. Flitz spotting towards the bench with the Molotov ready. He's actually got a boost up for Z-Power with that AWP, but with flashbangs coming up middle, forZe will concede. Molly's trapping Jerry in position. He can't go anywhere. Vinny making noise though, and that might be information that forZe can use to their advantage. And Jerry's gone through the smoke. Huge heroic play from the in-game leader of forZe, and he even gets out of dodge as well. No trade, and finally the advantage for forZe. That's Jerry's first opening kill all game long.
Such an important moment as well. Is that going to be enough to spur forZe on, though, to a victory in this round? Feels like forever since we've seen them make Furia feel vulnerable. And this round, they've finally done that, right? A 4-on-5. Brazilian boys going to group up over at Banana looking for this B play. Still with Yuri lurking over in the apartments at this A side of the map. His job is just to keep these 3 remaining forZe players here while the rest of his teammates work their magic at the B bomb site. He's done his part of the deal, and now it's down to the rest to do theirs. They'll drop this close smoke to try and navigate their way in. They catch Almeza crossing over past oranges, around the fountain, around the world. He's repositioning, he's going wide, and he's seen the barrel. Art's been dropped, and this play from Furia, it's lacking the speed, it's lacking the pace. They've got to go in now. There's 15 seconds left, and Jerry still, I was going to say, waiting in the wings, but he's been shot down, plucked from this round. Almeza, he's trying to deny the bomb plant. They've got Serato with just enough time left, and it's 2 versus 3. As that bomb goes down, damage done onto Serato, and he's alone. FaceCrack is going to get absolutely everybody there in the retake.
You talk about the slowdown of pace. Well, that was Furia giving room for Art to work. He gets into a position that Almeza's not aware of, and that almost works out wonderfully. If he goes aggressive there, he gets a frag, but instead, Almeza crosses towards Dark, as you said, sees the barrel, and is able to take him down. If Art peaks 2 seconds earlier, Furia have an entry into B and a chance to win the round. Without it, it's 14-12. It's a lifeline for forZe, and one that they were waiting for all game long. Still with a chance here on the CT side. Jerry getting run boosted. He has got a fast spawn. He might take a peek down Banana as a result. Z-Power challenging middle here. There's an AWP on the ramp though, won't see him get out. So no risk or reward here for forZe at the start of the round.
No, they try and help each other out at top Banana, but instead, Almeza just goes running into that nade, and it's that unfortunate thing where the grenade clips you and just stops you moving. So as well as getting tagged for 50 damage, he's just left standing out in the open to the guns of Furia. It was such a convincing return from forZe in that last round, and it might all be for nothing.
And they just know, because they got that pick up top B. Everyone's rotated towards B. In the meantime, Yuri gets an A frag, and now Furia can just commit towards his site. There's no one inside of it. FaceCrack is still here. He's going to have to go heroic. He's going to have to save this entire game for forZe, the only man on this side of the smoke. Vinny even getting kills on the backline, and Furia, they're done with it. They've taken B. Vinny's already there, and forZe rotated off. It's a game of chicken. It's cat and mouse across the map right now. Z-Power taking down Vinny in B, but he's lost the sight. They don't have a smoke for the spawn. They've got to get this bomb across, and they're going to go with a run boost.
This is such an odd round. This is a Counter-Strike. I don't know what this is. This is Need for Speed. They're doing laps of the map right now.
Did he see?
Z-Power didn't realize. He didn't see him. He thought it was like a bird. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Art planting the bomb.
Chickens can't fly, Harry.
And now Z-Power out from CT trying to find something, anything to get forZe back into this round. Is he ready for Art though? He's sneaky beaky like down in the pit. Serato's even flanking round. forZe, they thought they had this one maybe dead to rights, but it seems like they've counted their chickens before they've hatched. And now FaceCrack in the site. He's traded places with Art. They can't find the kills, and for FaceCrack, all that's left to do is stick this bomb. He's on it, flipping back round. There's no way he's able to get away with this though, and he'll get put down. A map point for Furia, 15-12, and now just one away from taking forZe's map pick as their own.
There's never been a more indecisive round, but for all the right reasons for Furia. I mean, pushing into B, getting an A pick, rotating to A, getting a B pick, rotating to B, and finally committing with a flank from that A site. Serato putting in the second last kill of the round, and that is just a fabulous one from Furia. They have been so good, and so on the ball with committing to the calls. That's something that some teams struggle with. You've got to believe your in-game leader. You've got to believe exactly what they're saying, and all follow the rules. Otherwise, your team's going to fall apart. But Furia always rallying together and never leaving a man behind. They're going to get themselves 15 on forZe's map pick, 1 away from the win. Now forZe still have money to reinvest with a double AWP. First time we've seen that as well. But is it going to be enough to drag them forward to overtime? They need to go flawless here.
I'm really hoping that with this double AWP setup, first time we've seen it on the CT side, that this could be the change that's needed, right? If you can set Jerry up with that AWP over at B, your worries about these fast A plays can go out the window a bit, and you can play this very, very typical kind of gamble style that forZe like to go for, but with some information behind it. It's not quite counting cards, but you're also not counting the cards. So
I mean, there are no cards.
Yeah. Let's see what's on the cards in this round, though, because there is something, that's for sure. It's the top mid play from Furia. Flitz just decided to give this off, and Furia, they're going to take that all day long. Free bit of real estate. That's real estate, mate. You take that every day of the week.
Question is, do they realize that the kings and queens in Buckingham Palace are nearby in the apartments? forZe are waiting around. And they're going to regress. I love that mid-round push from FaceCrack. Nothing that Furia would expect as they set up utility in second middle. forZe have been here all round long. And Furia now realizing the jig is up. They will get that long smoke in. A chance to go towards CT. forZe know about this. The player in B, Jerry, is watching for it. But do Furia commit, or do they want to wrap A instead? Flit's waiting for that smoke to fade. He's going to fall off, but they hear that. Luckily, Z-Power is there to cover his back as Art goes through the smoke as it fades. Vinny, he's got a choice to make. That is a new smoke, and he's going to go for the risk. Oh, boy. FaceCrack's on the other side. Z-Power's got his attention diverted. 20 seconds. Furia have to go, and that's the bomb being dropped. FaceCrack, absolutely huge round. 4 kills, and picking it up for forZe out of nowhere.
And that was a spray transfer up onto the man coming out from apartments, Vinny, as well. That looked incredible. I mean, we only caught the end of it, sad to say, but I imagine we're going to see it now. And yeah, oh, look at that, man.
So clean.
Living up to his name, cracking faces and taking names in the serve at 13-5. A tactical pause called in again for Furia. They've saved all of theirs. They've banked them up, and they've got tac pauses till the end of time itself. They want to try and figure out what's going wrong. I love the idea in that round, right? One of the things that was really, really nice was Art, and I didn't see the man who was with him. I want to say it was Yuri, but maybe not. Point is they go towards CT with that Moto smoke down and Flit waiting on the other side, and then they drop a smoke in CT that makes it sound like it's covering off the library peak, and that was enough to rotate Flit away, and that almost allowed for that kill to come in, but Z-Power was just one step ahead.
Art has forgotten to buy armor. He has $2,000. That is a big mistake to make when you have Matt Point and you're up against 13. Oh dear, it's not what you want to see at all. Buy time expired. Art, he can't go back. He's run out of options. He's got to commit with it at this point. Go down with your ship.
It looked like he even ran back, right?
Yeah.
To try and make it there in time.
No time.
Oof, that's not what you want. Wow, Vinny now removed. One of those armored players gone. Jerry. Still waiting in the wings. Going to rotate around to the coffins. Always a good flashbang provided from Jerry back in CT spawn, and they just go running into Allmazer. It's like they've forgotten he's here. He's flashed them with the men in black pen. They don't know. And as a result, all the kills come in for forZe. 14-15 now. We're going the distance. We're going to round number 30, and overtime is feeling like a very, very real possibility here on Inferno.
Hey, you know, I'm not saying it was on purpose, but looking on the bright side, at least Art has enough to buy a rifle now. There's always positives to take away from forgetting to get something, and yeah, now he's got it at least. First thing he buys. Last pause from Furia as well as they try and work out how to close this game on the T side and not go to overtime. But right now, it might not even be under their control. It might not be their choice. Because only a couple of guns can be afforded here in round number 30 for Furia. And here it is, the mounting pressure now. What could be the last round, or what could be the start of many more?
Oh, and Z-Power. He knows he's unrivaled in firepower in this round, right? He's got that AWP, the big green gun. He's looking down mid. Won't get faced just yet. Instead, he's holding for that ult mid peak. Early utility going in over at top banana. Furia trying to grab this little bit of map control nice and early. Jerry. Ooh, I think he saw him.
Yeah.
Just on the little corner of his screen there. A man has slipped by, and Jerry's going to try and molly him out. There's 2 crosshairs on this position. Thankfully, the flashbang saved the day. Into the Krieg they go, but no kills found. Jerry swapping out to the M4 now, trying to lock down this B side of the map. Furia, they've already overwhelmed it. They've already gotten in. It's a 4-on-4 retake to see how this map pans out. Round number 30, it's overtime or bust. And forZe, they've got to retake B, something they have struggled with all game long. Now decides their fate in this map.
All the utility in the world as well. They have no excuses to not be able to get back in, but they haven't found a kill yet, and Furia might force fight in the banana. Jerry waiting for the smoke to fade. It's a fresh one though. Face crack found a right player. It's an absolute massacre. It's a slaughter. No one knows where it's going. And finally, Henny is going to close out the map. It's Furia winning it on a forced buy and taking it in round number 30. That's got to be a rough one for forZe. Definitely taking far too long to set up for that retake there. And that is going to come back to bite them. Nuke on the horizon is this second map. Certainly one that forZe can play, but this is not the position they want to be in after that opening game.
No, certainly not, right? And the fact is as well, like Furia kind of brimming with confidence. They're looking like they're living up to our expectations a little bit more now. Not like the most, I still feel like in this matchup, if it was the old Furia, the Furia that we like were really threatened of, this would have been an easy win for them. It definitely wasn't easy. It still went the distance. forZe put up a really good fight. I think ultimately the struggles on that T side are what really come back to hurt them, right? Like if it was just one round difference, could have been an entirely different game, but that's just not the case. That's all for that first map though. As we saw, Furia took it in a very, very close fashion. Now we head on to Nuke, Furia's map pick. We'll be back with that second map after a quick break, so do not go anywhere.